Hello, my friend. You tell me that you are frightened of death not because it is an end, not because of illness, but because you cannot imagine just immersing yourself into something beyond life that is like endless nothingness, like a black hole. And of course, if we have that image about the universe and about where we go after death, then it can become quite terrifying. The people who have the image of after death being like a heaven or a hell, at least have that choice between something that will be eminently good and something that would be absolutely awful. But if you have a nihilistic view, an atheistic view, and you think of the universe in that terms of emptiness and nothing there at all anymore, then it becomes very hard to have peace with that. Unless, of course, you are enlightened to feel that in nothingness you could become released into peace and into not having to have any further responsibility or any action or anything that has to do with your identity. I mean, that could be a very pleasant feeling to just let yourself fall apart into nothing and basically give up all further effort or further intentionality or further purpose or tension of any kind. But I sense that that is not the answer for you. I sense that you are far more interested in figuring out whether this is a realistic picture, whether it is really conceivable that we spend 80 years trying so very hard to make the most of our lives and work so hard and try to be good to each other and try to live a meaningful life, only for that just to crumble away and for the person who has gone to just no longer be in existence at all. I don't believe that for a second. I don't believe for a second that there is this clear divide between life and death. I don't believe that we're ever fully alive. I think there's always a tiny amount that we're really activating our capacity for being conscious, for being aware of what is possible, of actually engaging with what is there, understanding the fullness that we are related to and that we are part of. It's minute. I think the moments where you suddenly have this sense of, gosh, yes, it all comes together and the past and the future link, and I link with these other people and I link with what is happening in humanity at large. The moments that these things happen are far and few between. Now that tells you that there is this possibility of much greater awareness, of much greater connectivity, of a much sort of fuller, louder sense of coming alive. Well, I wonder if that is what becomes available after we pass out of these vehicles, these bodies, these kind of temporary avatars that we use to engage with what is. Perhaps they are obstacles that actually make us more mechanistic than what consciousness needs to be. I believe that consciousness is everywhere. It's not just in our little brains or minds in human beings. No, it's everywhere. It's certainly in animals, and it's clearly in the earth. It's clearly in the universe. There are forces that make sense, that are clever, that are rational, that are patterned, that are adaptable, that are thoughtful. These things are not just human. Humans are not the apex of life. There are many aspects of life that are beyond transhumanity. And since that is the case, I think that when I pass out of my human form, whatever it is that has transited through me, I don't believe in souls, but I do think there is a kind of spiritual reality that passes through me and that is used through my thoughts and my actions, and that I increase or diminish by the way I am in the world. Well, I think all of that becomes much more available and much more connective with what I am when I stop being separated from it all through my human embodiment and my human existence. So I think of death as the great liberation, where I can let go of this instrument that has encapsulated me for all these decades, and I can free myself from having to perform in that way, and I can dive into the possibility of this wider universe, these immense wide spaces and freedoms that are waiting there. And no, they're not waiting, but they're there the whole time that I am doing these small things here on earth. And the more I connect with that, and the better I feel, and the more I let myself be inspired by the vitality of that, and the better I feel. So I am convinced that if you live your life right, you do not just dive into nothingness at death, but you resolve the tensions of being human and let it be obliterated in order to go with the flow of the magic and the mystery of the being that is out there in a different form and a different shape than this particular earthly material world. What that shape is and what exactly that is about, the jury is out. But I have never been convinced by any scientific arguments or any religious arguments to believe that all there is this short human existence. I think we are just rays of the radiation of consciousness, and we just capture some of it and we miss most of it, and we don't have a clue most of the time. Truth is far, far wider and broader than anything any human being has ever written down or spoken about. And I, for one, look forward to learning more about it. No fears to be had about nothingness in my mind. The nothingness is all here on earth. When we get things wrong and we deny ourselves the flight of imagination that allows us to believe in greater and better things, that is nothingness. We create that nothingness. It's a smallness of mind, and I will not be trapped by it. And I hope, my friend, that you don't feel you have to be trapped by it either. So, let yourself dream a bit, and dream about a death that is a liberation rather than a kind of imprisonment into a darkness. Go find the light, my friend, in your life, And when you find the light, you will know that that light is out there and it is waiting for you to become part of it. Take care, my friend. I hope this has given you some hope, some food for thought, anyway.